All right, thank you very much, Mjwara, Program Director, and to our overseas guests, you're welcome to South Africa, and you seem to have brought us good weather for the time being. And then the other conference delegates and then distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I want to apologize upfront for the minister because she was invited to come and say a few words at this meeting, but at the moment we do not have a deputy minister who she would have asked to probably come, and then I happened to be the one who was available. So I sincerely apologize that I'm not your first choice, Johan, and I'll do the best I can in 3 minutes that I've been asked to say a few words. So I'm delighted to be speaking at this inaugural Wind academic conference and to see so many of the world's leading minds in wind research gathered together to share their knowledge on this source of renewable energy, which is vital for South Africa's energy security and the environment. The economic progress of the past decades has seen hundreds of millions of people enjoy major improvements in their material well-being. We appreciate how globalization and market liberalization have underpinned these developments. There is general agreement about the decisive role that science, technology, and innovation has played as a driving force in such economic progress and human development, and of course, energy is the lifeblood of this progress. Some historians trace the genesis of the link between energy and human development right back to when humans learned to control fire some 500,000 years ago. But we have quite a lot further since then. The world's biggest energy-related challenge at the moment is finding sustainable alternatives to fossil fuel energy, with the debate generally focused on green energy. Recognizing the importance of research towards cleaner and more sustainable energy production, this new academic conference, therefore, on wind energy, in our view, is a welcome development. There is no doubt that wind energy is an integral and growing part of the energy supply system. I'm told that according to the 2015 Global Wind Energy Report, published by the Global Wind Energy Council, the total global installed wind power capacity at the end of 2015 was 432.9 gigawatts. This represented a cumulative market growth of more than 17% for this environmentally friendly source of energy. We are proud that the report mentions that South Africa is the first market in Africa to pass the 1,000 megawatt mark, with almost 1,053 megawatts installed in 2015. The remarkable progress experienced in the green energy sector seems to suggest that we might be entering the glory days of renewable energy. This observation is supported by the 2016 Renewable Energy Status Report, which indicates that the power sector experienced its largest increase in capacity ever. This significant growth happened in all regions, as approximately 147 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity was added in 2015, while renewable heat capacity increased by around 38 gigawatt then. This conference will be encouraged by the positive development that, despite that the majority of investment in the renewable energy sector are focused on solar power, we are now seeing that investment in the wind sector is up by 4%, with just under 110 billion US dollars, or 38% of the total investment committed in renewable in 2015. The 2016 Renewable Energy Status Report also carries news that should make the developing world community proud of its development paradigm shifts. This year, 2015, not only saw the fastest increase in green energy sources, but also for the first time in history, saw the developing countries spend more resources than developed countries on renewable energy development. However, it has to be stated that the true measure of this progress is the positive quality of life of ordinary people around the world. And in the midst of the global progress made thus far, sub-Saharan Africa has an energy crisis that requires serious attention. The 2015 Africa Progress Report tells us that 2/3 of Africans, which translate to 621 million people, have no access to electricity. In order to address this challenge, distributed generation has become more prominent, while more flexible approaches to grid development have to be employed in order to increase the access, as we have indicated. If you look at some parts of the continent, there is no way that all parts will get grid energy. Such interventions would save lives, boost access to information and education, liberate millions of women and girls from the drudgery of collecting wood, and generate wide-ranging environmental benefits. So this is a challenge in Africa, but this provides us with an opportunity. As a country that characterizes itself as a development state, that is South Africa, the government of South Africa is alive to these challenges. It is against this background that South Africa goes all out to support efforts like this conference, which seek to find sustainable solutions to the challenges of mankind. In support of the development of the wind energy sector, the government of South Africa has taken several important measures, providing policy certainty in terms of planned deployment, resource quantification, the localization of the technology, and research and development. I will spend a few more moments sharing with you what we're doing. With respect to policy certainty, our 2010 integrated resource planning indicates that by 2030, South Africa will have 42%, or 17.8 gigawatts of the total energy generating capacity coming from renewables, almost 42%, 50%, of which 8.4 gigawatt will be wind energy. To date, approximately 3.9 gigawatt of renewable energy generation has been procured through the Renewable Energy Independent Power Producer Program. Some 1.9 gigawatts of energy are in various stages of implementation. I had a very interesting question this morning to say, yes, we know all about this Renewable Energy Independent Power Producer Program, but ESCOM has thrown the spanner in the works. I can assure you that ESCOM doesn't make policy for government. They're just one of the implementers of the policy. So we are at the point of renewing the integrated energy plan and the integrated resource plan currently. And in our discussions, we think we're still on course to some of these numbers that I've shared with you. Key to the successful uptake of wind power is the ability to quantify wind energy potential. This is being done through the development of a wind atlas for South Africa. This project is technically supported by the United Nations Development Program and co-financed by the Global Environmental Facility. The project led to the installation of 10 high-quality wind measurement stations, a database system for wind data collection, and an online web display of the Wind Atlas that was launched in 2012. South African institutions such as the Council for Scientific Industrial Research, CSIR, the University of Cape Town, are collaborating on wind energy with the Technical University of Denmark. Again, there was a question earlier on about our interest and our willingness to partner, and this is something that, of course, we want to do more. Such partnerships have positioned our institutions to develop in-house capabilities in wind energy modeling. The first version of the atlas that I've referred to is based on the data measured predominantly in the Western Cape, the Northern Cape, as well as in the Eastern Cape. The next version that we develop will build on these existing data sets collected in the first phase, and the expansion will be in the Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, and some parts of the Free State. The updated version will also focus on optimizing and improving local content targets, testing and certification schemes, wind resource mapping for other parts of South Africa, as well as, importantly, as we talked with the students earlier on, human capital development. The Department of Science and Technology has established a renewable energy hub and a spokes program, together with the Renewable and Sustainable Energy Scholarship Program, which are projects managed by the National Research Foundation. These programs are broadly referred to as the Energy Research Program, which we are financing as a department. Playing a role in this program are the South African institutions like the Stellenbosch, the University of Cape Town, and other institutions which host the Wind Energy Spoke. The Wind Energy Spoke aims to develop innovative technologies with a focus on low wind speed regimes, which are normally not targeted by big turbine manufacturing. The key focus area of the Spoke include the use of alternative materials and turbine technology in order to reduce costs and improve efficiencies, as well as the development of performance monitoring diagnostic tools using signal techniques to avoid catastrophic failures. Thus far, encouraging progress has been made in grid integration and system modeling, as well as analysis. We also have a tech localization program which was established by the Department of Science and Technology and is hosted by the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. And what it does is it provides technological assistance to local firms in an effort to increase their competitiveness, as well as local production and service offerings. This program has added significant value in the areas of design, increased production, job creation, and global market increase. Adventure Power, the only manufacturer of medium-sized wind turbine in South Africa, has been the beneficiary of this specialized software to optimize the 300 kilowatt wind turbine and maximize the strength and fatigue analysis of the smaller 1.5 kilowatt wind turbine. The company manufactures the generator, blades, tower, machinery components, and power electronics locally, and most of the design work was also done here in South Africa. The company's 300 kilowatt wind turbine and its components have an estimated 70% local content. So as part of localizing the industry, the South African Bureau of Standards was commissioned by the Department of Science and Technology in 2011 to assess the need for wind turbine testing for certification in line with the International Electrotechnical Commission, which is 61400 series of standards. The study established that the blades and tower could be manufactured in South Africa, but the low local content target of 25% by the Department of Energy did not justify the establishment of such a facility. However, in the short term, there is a need to establish a facility for small, medium scale turbines, and in the medium term to establish a drivetrain testing facility. So what I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, therefore, in closing, is that I'm sharing the South African story in order to demonstrate not only the distance we have traveled in South Africa, but also the long road that we still have ahead of us. Our experience, though, has shown us that we have both the strengths and weaknesses to participate in this sector. Where we have strengths, we have readily shared our experiences with other nations, and in the era of globalization, no nation can hope to grow in isolation. The multinational nature of this conference speaks to the need for and value of world cooperation to meet the Sustainable Development Goals. Wind energy has an important role to play in this regard, and I'm sure that this conference will make an important contribution to wind energy. Thank you very much.